All right, everyone. Here we are with week 9 of the LSBA. So we are fighting Jersey once again. Going over my team real quick. We have Papa Wobbuffet. Physically defensive Altaria, pretty much the same set as last time. We have dual Scarfers in Celebi and in Rotom. We have physically defensive Nidoqueen and a Banded Scizor. So looking at his team, he brings a Zapdos this week. He brings a Zapdos and a Zoroark, which means with both the Hoopa and the Zoroark, he does have switch-ins to Wobbuffet because Hoopa is immune to Counter, and Zoroark is immune to Mirror Coat. So got to keep that in mind. He does operate the Darmanitan, which is really nice. Actually, Scizor looks pretty good in this match. Especially for getting rid of the Hoopa and the Zoroark. So I think the strategy this week is to show that I have Scarfed Rotom pretty early off the bat. So that hopefully he doesn't expect my Celebi to be Scarfed. Yeah. So he does obviously have a Defogger and Zapdos. And I do have a little bit of trouble breaking through the Zapdos, so I do kind of want to get up rocks. I feel like Nidoqueen is a pretty solid lead if he, as long as he doesn't lead Hoopa, which would be very surprising. So I'm going to lead with Nidoqueen. And he does lead with the Hoopa. That is crazy unfortunate. Let's see what we take from Hoopa. Hoopa. Unfortunately, I don't have a Dark type, so I don't have a super safe switch into a Psychic type move. I can go into the Scizor. What does Scizor do to Hoopa? Last time I went straight into Scizor on the Hoopa and he hit me with the all-up pummeling and directly got rid of my Scizor. And I don't want to follow up to that. Another thing to keep in mind is that Hoopa is immune to Shadow Tag from the Wobbuffet, just because Ghost types got that buff in Gen 6 or Gen 7. So I can't trap the Hoopa with Wobbuffet. I think a safe switching would be to the Celebi, because I don't think he's going to want to go for the I don't think he's going to want to go for the Ghost type move. He's either going to want to go for the Psychic type move to hit the Nidoqueen, or go for the Fighting type move to hit If only I had Protect on this thing. I'd love to see what he's going to go for. What does Celebi take from Hoopa? Probably if it's Specs, it's going to get destroyed. Yeah, Shadow Ball kills me if he doesn't have Specs. Sorry, guys, I'm chewing gum, so I'm sorry if it's super loud. Actually, I should get rid of that. Super unprofessional, Jack. Disappointing your 2 viewers. This is a tough play, because I could go into Scizor and it'll take the Psychic or the Ghost type move. Basically, Scizor takes anything but a Z move. And I really want to keep Celebi around. Seeing as he doesn't have the Darmanitan, I feel like Altaria is more expendable this match. Okay, so he goes straight on into Swampert. Maybe expecting, I don't know what he was expecting there. But we can get our Mega Evolution up and go for our Hyper Voice. He's probably going to Toxic me, but that's pertinent damage for getting him into HP grass range. Here I want to go into Celebi because I resist both of his moves. If he wants to go for a double toxic, he can. And then because I have the natural cure. And yeah, so he does get another toxic on the Altaria, but like I said, since he didn't bring the Darmanitan, it's a little bit more expendable. It's still obviously really nice for the Lopunny, but I have both Scarfed Rotom and Scarfed Celebi that can take care of it, as well as a physically defensive Nidoqueen that can probably 1v1 it, as well as obviously the Wobbuffet if he's lacking Baton Pass. Yeah, so I can go on to Celebi here and then just go for a safe U-turn probably. Probably out into Nidoqueen to start setting up our hazards. Yeah, there's his Stealth Rocks. He obviously doesn't want to stay in and take a Giga Drain. His switch in is probably Zapdos, maybe Jirachi. There's the Zapdos. So now we can go out into Nidoqueen. What does Zapdos do to Nidoqueen? I think the best thing it can do is HP Ice. So HP Ice, if it's uninvested, doesn't do a whole lot. And if he doesn't have the HP Ice, then there's that. I could also go on to the Altaria to get rid of the rocks, but I can do that later on, I'm pretty sure. Relatively safely. So now let's get up our Toxic Spikes first. Going back to the turn 1, it obviously could have been a Zoroark. Zoroark is pretty much always a really safe switch in, or really safe lead. I didn't really talk about the possibility of it being Zoroark. And it probably was, looking back, seeing as he didn't stay, went to Hoopa and go for a Psychic-type move. But even if it was a Zoroark, like if it's Specs or Life Orb, Dark Pulse is going to do a hefty chunk to me. I didn't do Calcs, but I'm physically defensive, and Zoroark has pretty respectable special attack stat. So if I had known for sure it was a Zoroark, I could have stayed in and started getting at my hazards, but it really wasn't worth the risk if it was the Hoopa. And then if it wasn't, like I said, he could do a hefty chunk with Dark Pulse and then potentially even flinch me. So here's the Hoopa. And now we're back to square one where we were. I think I'm going into Scizor. Okay, so that is definitely Specs. That is hella Specs. Now we know for sure. Or I guess not for sure. Let's do some calcs. Yeah. Oh, that was a roll. A roll in our favor. Unless he's modest. I guess he could be modest. So now we know he's locked into Shadow Ball. What does that do to Nidoqueen? Shadow Ball, that's doing a lot. Not worth it. And Wobbuffet probably won't live it. Yeah, we won't. So I think The only play is to go into Celebi. I do not have a good switch into Hoopa at all. But our play is definitely to go into Celebi. I think we have to reveal that we have Shadow Ball. And he can easily go into Lopunny, but I have Altaria as a really safe switch in. And if he goes into Lopunny, then he gets poisoned. And he doesn't necessarily know that we have Shadow Ball, although he'd be silly to not expect it by this point. And he could either go in, either the Lopunny or the Zoroark are safe switch-ins to our Shadow Ball. However, going into the Zoroark gets chip damage on it, and then we can know from there, every time he switches it in, that looking at the HP amount, whether or not it's the Zoroark. So I'll take that chip on it. That... I guess I should have done the calcs there. Dang it, that's unfortunate. I should have done the calcs there. I mean, I didn't really have another play anyways. I didn't have another play anyways, other than going into Altaria first, which is actually probably what I should have done. What does Rotom do with HP Grass? HP Grass does 16 to 20%. See, I think I have to go into Rotom. Because he's probably running some amount of speed that'll outspeed Altaria. As well as the Nidoqueen. So it outspeeds everything. So I have to go into Rotom. And I want to go for the HP Grass in case he goes into Swampert. It's not done yet, because Rotom does a number to his team once Swampert is gone. And if he switches in Swampert... Actually, no, okay. So if he switches in Swampert, I'm fine with that. Because then he gets poisoned and he's going to be taking chip damage, and that can easily go into Altaria. I wanted to bring Scrafty too, but I prioritized other members of the team. Scrafty is like, especially Assault Vest Scrafty, basically shuts down the Hoopa. So Hoopa's gone. But he easily goes into Swampert here. He goes into Lopunny. I go into Nidoqueen. Cosmic Power. That is strange. He is going to Baton Pass into something. So now we have to start going for... Okay, you guys are going to yell at me. I can never remember fighting resist poison. I think it does. Okay. It is resistant to poison. Actually, no. No. Poison resists it. Okay, I was reading that chart wrong. So I can go for Sludge Wave here. What does he want to Baton Pass into? Zapdos, maybe? Yeah, there's a Baton Pass. Where is he going into? I wanted to go into... So, he's in on Jirachi. I don't think Jirachi can do much to Wobbuffet. Looking up Jirachi, Smogon. What does it get to touch Wobbuffet? It can obviously Iron Head flinch me to death. I'm super physically defensive. The best it has is Shadow Ball. So Wobbuffet against Jirachi. Choice Scarf. Alright. Z Happy Hour. So now we're playing a 50-50 game. It has +1 attack, +1 special attack. Iron Head does 41% max if he is max attack. Max special attack with Shadow Ball Alright, so he can 2-hit KO me with Shadow Ball. He cannot 2-hit KO me with Iron Head. He can obviously flinch me to death. So we're going to go for the Mirror Coat. Now we're going to go for the counter because we have the Ayapapa. So we can live 2 Iron Heads. He gets the flinch. It all comes down to this. Do we break through this time? We don't. Fuck. That's GG. I hate Jirachi, guys. I really hate Jirachi. The one time he broke through was when we went for Mirror Coat, but we had to go for Mirror Coat in case he had Shadow Ball. Fuck. And he's gonna beat us 5-0. Unless we can get a crit Earth Power. But we can't break through. Yeah, alright. I really, really hate Jirachi as a Pokemon overall. Like, I'm salty right now because, obviously, hacks were against us. And I get hacks are part of the game. Like, we have Ice Beam freezes and Iron Head flinches and shit like that. But a Pokemon that's, like, built around hacks is like this is just, like, all around in bad taste for me. Obviously, no, like, this isn't against Jersey himself, because obviously he had to play with what he had. Yeah, that's GG, because I can't. Yeah. Well, alright, so we lost 5-0, which means we're actually, we are now, no, so differential wise, we are tied with Jersey because we were plus 10. And now he gets plus 5 and we get minus 5. So now differential wise, we are tied with him, but we're still ahead with him with win-loss. So either Rossi needs to beat him next week, or we need to beat Josh in order to get to playoffs. So obviously I can't bank on Rossi with beating him because blah blah blah. Yeah, tune in next week, guys, for us where we will hopefully beat Josh and then hopefully go into playoffs. Bye, guys. Before I go, sorry that I got a little salty at the end there. I feel like I explained myself pretty well. Good on Jersey. He played with what he had. I did not expect Cosmic Power, Baton Pass, Lopunny. I did kind of expect to see celebrate Jirachi, but it is. But anyways, and again, this is not salt on Jersey because he played with what he had. This is more salt on just Pokemon that are built around winning via hacks in general. Mostly stuff like Jirachi, Togekiss, etc. So, thanks for doing it, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.